Hi there, how's it going? Gerard here from Ireland. Welcome to my book, all about trying to get from where you are at the moment, which is probably a house with not very few smart systems, to a house that hopefully at the end of this book you will know how to implement the various types of smart home systems. Very hot topic at the moment. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through 14 chapters. This is a new edition of the book. Spent a bit of time doing it up. There's some new content from the previous book. So let me start off with chapter 1, obviously. And the title of that is Introduction to Smart Home Automation 2.0. First of all, we have an overview of home automation. So let me start. The first iteration of automation for the residential sector, also known as Home Automation 1.0 or HA 1.0 in brackets, has been available for the past 3 decades, primarily confined to high-end households and ambitious technology enthusiasts. So I have a little bit of a timeline here in the book, and maybe I'm going to articulate that over voice. Going back to way back to 1975, just when I was 5 or 6 years of age, I was a young little lad. X10, a technology called X10, and I certainly didn't know about it when I was 6 years of age down in West Cork. Then we moved many years ahead to the 80s and the early 90s, and there was various initiatives, and I actually wrote about some of those initiatives back when I wrote some of my earlier books, and a lot of them failed as well. What we saw then from kind of the mid-90s to the mid-2005 to noughties, I think they call it, is a market dominated by proprietary and X10 solutions again. But then from kind of 2005 onwards, we saw introduction of technologies such as Z-Wave, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Instant. So all these kind of things were starting to emerge around that particular time. So let me just read the key features. So the mid-70s, as I spoke about, X10 was introduced. Mid-80s, new standards were released and failed to gain any traction. And the 90s and early noughties, although interest in the automation was growing, uptake was dominated by professionally installed proprietary solutions and DIY products based on X10. And the mid-noughties to late noughties, X10 products started to lose popularity, so that standard eventually more or less died. With the release of next generation standardized protocols such as Zigbee, Wi-Fi and Z-Wave. However, the failure of HA 1.0 to capture people's imaginations has been attributed to a number of reasons, and then namely, first of all, complexity. Many of the HA 1.0 products released in the early years of home automation were buggy and technically complex. There was multiple incompatible standards, so over the years there have been attempts by various organizations to create standards to drive adoption of home automation systems across the globe. Poor interoperability of devices from different suppliers and limited support from the manufacturing community has kept penetration of HA 1.0 products to a minimum. Third reason why there was a failure for this market to ignite was they were expensive to install. Although the HA 1.0 did provide for some DIY type products in general, an end-to-end home automation system required expensive installed professionals to ensure that the equipment worked correctly. Incorporating a full home automation system into a new house required a significant upfront investment. Also, the media, they had a part to play as well. Coverage of home automation 1.0 systems were typically confined to case studies of large, high-end houses owned by celebrities or demonstration of futuristic smart homes. This approach has embellished the belief in most people's minds that home automation is not affordable and is only available to affluent people in society. A solution looking for a problem, another barrier. HA 1.0 solutions were nice to have, but they did not solve any specific problem for consumers around the globe. And finally, limited to DIY enthusiasts and high-end properties. The HA 1.0 market is quite small and limited to people who install automation in their homes as a hobby, and to systems that get installed by professional smart home integration experts. Now, if we move forward, today user perceptions towards home automation, smart home technology, etc. have begun to change. People are starting to learn about the possibilities of using their smartphones to control their homes. Now, we have a heading called What is HA 2.0 and a quotation from Gerard, from myself. No longer is home automation confined to the privileged in society! Exclamation mark. Right, let the latest generation of automation, dubbed Home Automation 2.0 or HA 2.0 in brackets is the acronym, is changing the way the average person thinks about controlling their home. HA 2.0 refers to the ability to use a device such as a standard remote control, a smartphone, tablet, or PC to control particular life enhancement systems within your home. Examples of critical systems you might want to control from anywhere in the world include
Sample complete. Ready to continue?